For years, Dubai looked like the future of humanity, a giant city rising from the desert with record-breaking skyscrapers, artificial islands, luxury hotels, and endless promises of wealth. Millions of tourists traveled there, believing they were stepping into the most glamorous destination on Earth. On social media, the city appeared almost untouchable. Influencers showed infinity pools above the clouds, gold-covered restaurants, designer shopping malls, and supercars parked beneath the towering Burj Khalifa. To the outside world, Dubai became the ultimate symbol of modern success. But lately, something inside the city has started to feel very different. The first people to notice were not investors, celebrities, or influencers. They were the workers. Hotel employees quietly began talking about empty hallways and unbooked rooms. Restaurant staff noticed fewer reservations and tourists spending less money than before. Tour guides started hearing the same complaints over and over again. Everything feels overpriced, artificial, and exhausting. Slowly, the image that helped build Dubai's global reputation started showing cracks. Now, serious questions are beginning to emerge about whether the city's tourism empire is starting to lose momentum. Rising travel costs, brutal summer temperatures, growing competition from countries like Saudi Arabia, Thailand, and Qatar, and increasing criticism about authenticity are changing how travelers view the city. What once looked like the perfect luxury paradise suddenly feels much more uncertain. And according to many workers inside the tourism industry, the warning signs are becoming impossible to ignore. Not very long ago, Dubai looked unstoppable. Between 2022 and 2024, the city experienced another major tourism boom. Luxury hotels expanded rapidly, giant entertainment projects opened across the skyline, and influencers flooded social media with videos presenting the emirate as the ultimate destination for wealth and luxury. Everywhere online, Dubai looked crowded, glamorous, and constantly alive. But behind the scenes, workers inside the tourism industry slowly began noticing something unusual. At first, the changes seemed small. Employees at luxury hotels reportedly noticed occupancy levels becoming less consistent compared to previous years. Entire hotel floors that normally stayed fully booked during peak seasons sometimes remained partially empty for days. Housekeeping staff received fewer room assignments. Concierge workers described hotel lobbies feeling strangely quiet during hours that once felt non-stop and chaotic. Restaurant workers across areas like Dubai Marina, Palm Jumeirah, and downtown Dubai also started noticing shifts in customer behavior. Restaurants that previously required reservations weeks in advance suddenly had empty tables available even on weekend evenings. Some restaurant managers reportedly introduced aggressive discounts and promotions simply to maintain customer traffic. Workers say tourists are now spending far more cautiously than they used to. Tour operators noticed the same pattern. Desert safari companies, yacht rentals, and sightseeing businesses all began reporting weaker demand compared to previous tourism peaks. Guides describe tourists spending more time comparing prices, skipping premium experiences, or shortening excursions altogether. Some operators who once ran multiple tours every day reportedly struggled to fill even one. One of the biggest concerns inside the industry is the atmosphere itself. Workers say parts of the city no longer feel as energetic or dominant as they once did. Shopping districts that previously looked packed almost every hour now experience long, quiet periods, especially outside the busiest travel seasons. Travel agencies have also observed changing attitudes among international tourists. Visitors from countries like India, China, and the United Kingdom increasingly compare Dubai with alternative destinations before booking vacations. Instead of automatically viewing the city as a must-visit luxury experience, many travelers now see it as just one option among many global destinations. Meanwhile, airlines and hotel developers appear more cautious than before. Several expansion projects announced during the tourism boom years have reportedly slowed down or been quietly postponed. Workers inside hospitality say this creates growing anxiety because modern Dubai's economy depends heavily on maintaining constant tourism growth. The city still attracts millions of visitors every year, and many districts remain busy. But according to people working directly inside the tourism industry, the confidence that once surrounded Dubai no longer feels as strong as it did only a few years ago. And for a city built almost entirely on the image of non-stop success, even small signs of uncertainty can quickly become a serious problem. One of the biggest complaints surrounding Dubai today is simple. Many tourists no longer believe the experience justifies the cost. Luxury has always been part of the city's identity, but over the last few years, the price of visiting the Emirate has climbed to levels many travelers now describe as excessive. Workers inside the tourism industry say price complaints have become one of the most common frustrations they hear from visitors every single day. Hotels are one of the clearest examples. Staying at a mid-range property near major attractions can now cost hundreds of dollars per night during peak seasons. In some cases, tourists discover they are paying prices similar to or even higher than hotels in cities like Paris, Tokyo, or New York. For families visiting Dubai for less than a week, accommodation alone can consume a massive portion of the vacation budget before food, attractions, or transportation are even included. Restaurant workers say tourists are becoming noticeably more cautious when ordering meals. In areas such as Dubai Marina and the Dubai International Financial Center, even ordinary dining experiences often come with luxury-level prices. Workers describe visitors staring at menus, calculating costs, and sometimes leaving restaurants entirely after seeing the final bill. Some tourists reportedly share dishes, skip drinks, or avoid desserts simply to save money. Even fast food prices have become part of the criticism. Travelers frequently compare costs inside Dubai with neighboring countries or destinations across Asia and Europe, quickly realizing how expensive everyday purchases become throughout the trip. Workers say tourists increasingly search for cheaper alternatives after only a few days inside the city. Attractions create another major financial pressure point. Observation decks, indoor amusement parks, beach clubs, and luxury entertainment venues often charge extremely high entry fees. Families attempting to visit multiple attractions during a short vacation can spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars very quickly. Tourism workers say more visitors now ask whether famous attractions are actually worth the money before purchasing tickets. Transportation only adds to the frustration. Although the Dubai Metro remains relatively affordable, many of the city's most famous attractions are spread far apart, forcing tourists to rely heavily on taxis or ride-sharing services. Workers say visitors are often shocked by how expensive transportation becomes after multiple days exploring the city. Rental cars may initially appear affordable, but parking fees and strict traffic fines frequently create unexpected additional costs. The psychological effect of these rising expenses may be even more damaging than the actual prices themselves. Hospitality workers increasingly describe tourists looking stressed rather than relaxed during vacations. Instead of freely enjoying luxury experiences, many visitors spend large portions of their trips constantly calculating budgets and adjusting spending decisions. For years, Dubai built its reputation on offering unlimited luxury and futuristic experiences. But now, a growing number of travelers are asking an uncomfortable question. If the city costs this much, why not simply visit somewhere else that feels more authentic, more relaxing, or more memorable? And in a world filled with competing luxury destinations, that question could become increasingly dangerous for Dubai's future tourism industry. For years, tourists accepted Dubai's extreme heat as part of the experience. The city was built in the desert, and visitors expected high temperatures. But according to many workers inside the tourism industry, the climate is no longer viewed as a minor inconvenience. It is becoming one of the biggest reasons travelers leave disappointed or avoid visiting entirely during large parts of the year. Between May and September, temperatures regularly climb above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes much higher. But workers say the real problem is not just the heat itself. It is the combination of intense humidity, constant sun exposure, and heavy urban construction that creates an environment many tourists struggle to tolerate for long periods outdoors. Tour guides describe visitors becoming exhausted after only short amounts of walking. Outdoor tours that once lasted hours now require frequent breaks inside air-conditioned buildings. Some tourists reportedly cancel outdoor excursions completely after experiencing the weather firsthand. Workers say many travelers arrive expecting luxury and relaxation, only to spend most of their vacation moving between indoor shopping malls, hotels, and restaurants. Desert safari operators have also noticed major changes in customer behavior. These excursions remain heavily marketed as iconic Dubai experiences, but workers say tourists increasingly struggle physically during the hottest months. Guides describe visitors feeling dehydrated, dizzy, or overwhelmed by the temperatures before activities even fully begin. Some operators have reportedly shortened tours or added extra cooling stops because of the extreme heat. Beach resorts face similar challenges. Beaches should be one of Dubai's strongest natural attractions, yet during peak summer months, many become nearly unusable during daytime hours. Resort workers say tourists often avoid going outside entirely during the afternoon, choosing instead to remain inside air-conditioned spaces. The city's response has focused heavily on indoor entertainment. Massive shopping malls, indoor ski slopes, giant aquariums, and climate-controlled attractions allow tourists to temporarily escape the weather. But critics argue this creates another problem. Many visitors begin wondering why they traveled across the world simply to spend most of their trip indoors inside malls that feel similar to luxury malls anywhere else. Workers also mention another growing complaint: the atmosphere itself. Dust, haze, and dry desert air sometimes reduce visibility across the skyline. Tourists expecting perfectly clear views of landmarks like the Burj Khalifa occasionally encounter skies covered in haze and suspended dust instead of the bright blue images commonly shown online. Climate experts have increasingly warned about rising temperatures across the Gulf region overall. Some studies suggest certain areas could eventually experience periods where outdoor activity becomes extremely dangerous without cooling infrastructure. While Dubai remains highly developed and technologically advanced, tourism workers quietly admit the climate is becoming harder to market positively. At the same time, competing destinations continue offering warm climates without the same environmental intensity. Countries like Thailand, Indonesia, and parts of the Mediterranean provide beaches, nightlife, and luxury resorts with greener landscapes and far more comfortable outdoor experiences. For a city built around outdoor luxury and futuristic lifestyles, the climate itself may now be becoming one of the biggest obstacles standing in the way of future tourism growth. For nearly 2 decades, Dubai dominated luxury tourism in the Middle East with very little serious competition. The city successfully positioned itself as the region's entertainment capital, a place where wealthy travelers, celebrities, influencers, and international businesses all gathered inside one futuristic destination. But today, that dominance is being challenged from multiple directions at the same time, and workers inside the tourism industry are beginning to feel the pressure. The biggest threat may be coming from neighboring Saudi Arabia. Through massive investment programs connected to Vision 2030, the kingdom has poured enormous amounts of money into tourism, entertainment, and infrastructure development. Cities like Riyadh are transforming rapidly, while destinations such as Al Ula are attracting global attention for their historical and cultural significance. What makes this especially dangerous for Dubai is that Saudi Arabia appears to be targeting many of the Emirates' biggest weaknesses directly. While Dubai is often criticized for feeling artificial or overly commercialized, Saudi Arabia promotes ancient heritage sites, cultural tourism, and landscapes connected to centuries of history. Instead of focusing only on shopping malls and luxury towers, the kingdom is marketing itself as a destination with deeper identity and authenticity. At the same time, Saudi Arabia is aggressively expanding entertainment options that once made Dubai feel unique in the region. International concerts, sporting events, luxury resorts, and giant tourism festivals are now appearing across the kingdom at a pace very few people expected only a few years ago. Workers inside the travel industry say some tourists who previously viewed Dubai as the automatic luxury destination in the Gulf are now becoming curious about these newer alternatives. Qatar is creating additional competition as well. Following the success of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, the country invested heavily in transportation systems, luxury hotels, museums, and tourism infrastructure. Some workers familiar with both markets say tourists increasingly describe Doha as easier to navigate and less exhausting than Dubai, especially because many attractions are located closer together. Outside the Gulf region, competition becomes even stronger. Across Europe, tourism has rebounded significantly in cities like Rome, Barcelona, and Athens. Travelers looking for architecture, history, and local culture often choose these destinations because they offer experiences that feel more emotionally meaningful and historically authentic. Meanwhile, Southeast Asia continues attracting huge numbers of international tourists at far lower prices. Countries like Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia offer luxury resorts, beaches, nightlife, and cultural experiences at a fraction of the cost many travelers now associate with Dubai. Travel workers say families comparing budgets often realize they can stay much longer in those countries while spending significantly less money overall. Social media has accelerated this competition dramatically. Travelers now compare destinations constantly before booking vacations. If another country appears cheaper, more beautiful, or more authentic online, tourists can change plans almost instantly. For years, Dubai relied heavily on being viewed as unique. But as more countries build luxury tourism industries and improve global branding, the city's exclusivity is slowly fading. And according to many workers inside the industry, that loss of uniqueness could become one of the biggest threats to the city's future growth. Beyond the prices, the climate, and the growing competition, there is another criticism that may be even more damaging to Dubai's image. Many travelers now believe the city feels emotionally empty. While millions of tourists still admire the luxury and futuristic design, a growing number of visitors leave feeling that something important is missing beneath the surface. Unlike older global destinations, modern Dubai developed extremely quickly. In only a few decades, enormous sections of desert were transformed into skyscrapers, artificial islands, shopping malls, and luxury resorts. The speed of that transformation impressed the world, but critics argue it also created a city heavily focused on appearance rather than identity. Tourism workers say some visitors arrive expecting to discover deep local culture and historical experiences, only to realize much of the city revolves around modern entertainment and commercialized attractions. Tour guides reportedly struggle when tourists ask detailed questions about local history because compared to places like Rome, Istanbul, or Kyoto, there are far fewer preserved historical districts or ancient landmarks to explore. Even attractions designed to showcase traditional culture sometimes receive criticism for feeling staged or repetitive. Desert safari experiences, for example, often follow nearly identical formats involving dune driving, camel rides, buffet dinners, and choreographed performances. Workers inside the industry quietly admit many of these experiences are designed more for mass tourism efficiency than genuine cultural immersion. Food reflects the same issue. Dubai offers restaurants from almost every corner of the world, but many tourists searching for distinctly Emirati cuisine struggle to find experiences that feel truly unique to the country itself. Instead, visitors often encounter a blend of international luxury dining that could exist almost anywhere. Architecture contributes heavily to this perception. The skyline is visually impressive, but many travelers say entire districts feel like collections of global luxury brands rather than neighborhoods with strong local character. Massive malls, artificial islands, and glass skyscrapers create spectacle, but not necessarily emotional connection. Social media has intensified the problem dramatically. Online, Dubai is often presented through carefully edited videos showing supercars, infinity pools, luxury hotels, and glamorous nightlife. But workers say tourists frequently arrive with unrealistic expectations created by influencer culture. After spending several days inside the city, some visitors begin realizing the daily reality feels far less exciting than the cinematic image promoted online. At the same time, international criticism surrounding labor conditions continues affecting the city's reputation. Much of Dubai's hospitality, construction, and service industries depend heavily on foreign workers from South Asia, Africa, and the Philippines. Reports involving low wages, exhausting workloads, and restrictive worker systems have periodically generated global criticism. Some hospitality workers themselves describe feeling financially trapped, despite living inside one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Critics argue this creates a disturbing contrast between the luxury tourists see and the difficult realities experienced by many workers maintaining that image behind the scenes. For modern travelers, authenticity matters more than ever. People increasingly want experiences that feel personal, emotional, and culturally real. Luxury alone is no longer enough to guarantee long-term excitement, and that may be the biggest challenge facing Dubai today. The city successfully sold the world a futuristic dream, but now, more travelers are beginning to question whether there is anything meaningful underneath the surface. Despite all the criticism surrounding Dubai, the city remains one of the most recognizable destinations on Earth. Millions of tourists still visit every year. Luxury brands continue investing billions into new developments. The skyline still looks futuristic, dramatic, and almost unreal compared to most cities around the world. But behind that image, serious doubts are beginning to grow about whether the current tourism model can continue working forever. Workers inside the tourism industry are now openly discussing problems that many visitors quietly notice during their trips. Rising prices, extreme heat, growing competition from countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and destinations across Southeast Asia. A feeling that the city looks impressive online, but sometimes feels emotionally disconnected in reality. None of these issues alone would necessarily threaten a global tourism giant, but together, they are slowly changing how travelers view Dubai. At the same time, it would be dangerous to underestimate the city. Over the past 30 years, Dubai transformed itself from a relatively small desert trading hub into one of the world's most famous tourism and business centers. The city has repeatedly proven capable of adapting faster than most people expect. That ability to reinvent itself may once again become its greatest advantage. The real question now is whether future travelers will continue prioritizing luxury and spectacle, or whether they will increasingly choose destinations that feel more authentic, affordable, and culturally meaningful. Because if global tourists eventually stop seeing Dubai as special, the city could face a challenge far larger than slower tourism seasons or empty hotel rooms. And according to many workers already watching these changes happen from inside the industry, the warning signs may only be getting started.